Hello and welcome back to Coastal Points, my very own custom neighborhood in The Sims 2 that I built from scratch. That is a very long intro. I need to figure something else out. That's not sustainable. Anyways, welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time here. What are we doing today? As you can tell, if you have seen my previous videos, there are a lot of new houses that hasn't been there before. So the focus in today's video is gonna be residential lots. At first, I thought that I was gonna do like I have been doing up until this point, that I record me building one building and then I edit that and I post it at here's a speed build of this one lot. But I realized as I was building that that's gonna be so boring if I do it like that. It's gonna be so repetitive. It's gonna be basically the same thing over and over again because it's not that different building one house from another house, especially when they are in the same neighborhood with the same kind of vibe. So I decided to like take snippets from each and every house and just put it together to like shorten it down and just let you see snippets of the process of building these houses, but not the entire thing. But don't worry, if you do like that kind of stuff, you know, seeing the entire process from start to finish, you will get that in this video. It's gonna come later, so settle down. We are gonna build a mansion from start to finish. And the mansion is like this. Okay, I have some Sims in mind that is gonna live on this island. And I have this one family in mind that is gonna be like, you know, the important, influential family that is... Okay, they are rich. I admit it. They are gonna be rich. That feels so classic. When you create your own custom neighborhood, there's always this like big, important family. And the coastal point is no different. So, of course, this big influential family needs a big, pretty house to live in. And I thought that building is going to be a little bit different to follow along than the other houses I have built. So we're going to focus on that later on. But let me talk a little bit about these houses that I am building right now. They are very much inspired by the classic Swedish architecture. And as I have mentioned before, Coastal Points is very much inspired by the Swedish coast, especially the west coast, because that's where I'm from, and New England in the US. It's like a mishmash, like forced together these two very different places and just putting them in one place. But yeah, all of these houses are more Swedish than New England. And I think I have mentioned before, I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, I have created a Pinterest board where I gather my inspiration for my buildings. And if you want to go check it out to see where I get my inspiration, what my sources are, you can find a link to the Pinterest board in the description. And if you go and look, you will probably find some houses that you recognize, but because you know they are my references when I build these houses. So some might be recognizable if I put it like that. So yeah, I am fully aware that I haven't posted in a little bit, and that is, well, of course, because I have built like 13 houses and that takes a while. But I have also been very busy with school. I am studying at uni. Have I mentioned this? I think I mentioned that I am studying, like I am a student. But I don't think I've talked very much. Maybe you aren't interested in my personal life. Anyways, it's my channel. I'm gonna talk about whatever I want. So, I am studying to become a high school teacher here in Sweden. And my main subject is gonna be Swedish. So, I have for the last couple of weeks been hammering down on grammar, Swedish grammar, and oh boy, It's been so intense and so hard. So that's my excuse for not being very active on my channel. Besides building like 13 different houses. But yeah, so that's my excuse for being very inactive. But yeah, hopefully my schoolwork will calm down a little bit. I had the final exam yesterday for this course, or the part of the course. So hopefully it will calm down and I will have more time for my Sims. Hopefully. But yeah, I think we've seen enough of these houses, so let's get into the speed build of the mansion. Okay, buckle in, because this is gonna be a long ass speed build. This mansion took quite a while to finish. I mean, that makes sense. It is a mansion, after all. They are big houses, and big houses take a while to build. But yeah, it's gonna be a long one. So what can I say about this mansion? It is, I think, like all other buildings that I have built this far, inspired by Swedish architecture. These houses aren't very common in Sweden, I would like. Well, I think I don't see them that often, at least. But then again, I'm not rich, so I don't really hang out in places where houses like this could exist. But yeah, it's still a nice looking house. I am very happy with it, how it turned out. I do have to admit though that I find it hard to build mansions. It's a struggle every time I do it. And I'm not entirely sure why. I think it could be the size that is an issue, or it's hard for me when it comes to building houses. When houses are too big in The Sims, I struggle. And I think it could be that I find big houses in The Sims like a little bit intimidating. I don't like it when houses feel... How am I gonna describe this? I don't like it when they feel like big and clunky, and I like my teeny tiny houses, you know, it feels like they're tiny and cute, you know, that's usually more my style when I build, so I think that's why I find it intimidating when I build mansions. And I think I also struggle a bit with like this. The mansions usually feel so big when I build them, but then when I go inside and start with the interior of the mansion, I realize that the house isn't as big as I first thought, so the layout is usually also a challenge. And I think I struggle a bit with the interior layout in this house quite a bit. Because I have these sections of the house that is kind of limited in what I can use it for. Like for example, this backside here with the porch and the balcony. Like I can't place a bathroom there, like to have a big ass door from a bathroom, that doesn't make any sense. And I also wanted some kind of symmetry, because that feels fancy, you know, with symmetry. So I was kind of limited with the layout in that sense, especially when you compare it to smaller houses, because then symmetry doesn't feel as important. So even though I have more space in a mansion, I feel limited, more at least, than what I usually do. I am also gonna change my mind a bit when it comes to colors and stuff, but I finally settle on a white facade and a like blue grayish roof. And I'm really happy with the color choices of this house. I have to admit that. I'm very happy with the end result when it comes to that. the like thing I am doing here with the foundation, I don't know what that is. If I'm gonna be honest, like there isn't any use for that space, and it's quite weird because you can't access it like directly from the house. Like you have to go out on like the side entrance there and like go down the stairs and then up the stairs again, and I haven't placed anything on top of that foundation, so I don't really know what it is. But as you probably could guess, I used a reference for this building, and the picture that I was watching had that kind of foundation thing, and I thought it looked kind of nice, so I built it. But yeah, now that I think about it, maybe it's weird. Here you can see I am struggling with the layout quite a bit. It was a hard... well, it was a challenge to find a place for the bathroom downstairs, because I felt like there needs to be a bathroom. Like I tried here, but then it just felt weird. It didn't make sense, and then I tried there, but then I ended up there with a 2x2. So it's just gonna be a simple toilet and a sink in there. But I just felt there needs to be a bathroom downstairs, because it feels weird to only have one upstairs, because like if you have guests over, it feels weird that they need to go upstairs to use the bathroom, especially in a mansion. Like to only have one bathroom in a mansion, yeah, it just doesn't feel right. So yeah, I was struggling a bit with that, but I figured it out eventually. Oh my god, the work with like putting down these like rims, especially on an angle all over the house. I love them. They are from the, oh my god, the bespoke build set, I think they are called, by Honeywell on Mod Sims. I use them all the time. But when it comes to a house that's big like this with a lot of angles, oh, it's testing my patience, but I am happy that I did it because I think it turned out very nice. Now we are working on the yard, I guess, and I landed on these like pink and white color palette when it came to the bushes and the flowers. And I think it really fits the house, especially like the pink flowers and the blue roof. I think they fit very nicely. Oh, I also find this very satisfying. Me placing these stones like around the edges of the that is like ASMR for my eyes when I'm placing down these stones in speed mode. Oof, it's just so satisfying. Here you can see me struggling with the rooms. I'm like, what is gonna go where? What am I gonna do with all these rooms? But yeah, I think I landed in something that feels good. So here we are working on the living room. And I think this turned out pretty okay. Maybe it could have been a little bit more cluttered to make it feel a little bit more lived in. But I think I still managed to pull off a feeling of a home, like someone lives here. Because I think that's something that's very strange usually in, like, you know, the extremely rich people's homes, like A-list celebrities, like these big ass mansions, and it just feels like a museum almost. Like, I can't believe someone actually lives there when you see pictures on the inside. But I feel like this is a place where someone actually lives, and that's what I wanted. I do really like these kind of side entrances, I guess. I think they are usually extremely nice and very cozy, so I am very happy that I could squeeze one of these in. This room that I'm working on right now is, for me, like a staple kind of room that I need to have in every mansion or like every house I build where someone is living that is rich. I don't know why. It just feels like if you have that much money, you need a room that don't have any other function than just sit there. You know? Like, for example, this room with the dining is a place where you can eat and like host and stuff. The kitchen, that you cook food and you eat, and the living room, you can hang out and you can watch TV, you can read. I am also gonna have a study, and that's a place where you can like work or sit at the computer, stuff like that. So almost every room actually has a function. But that one room just doesn't, you know? It's just there to look fancy, and I just need it. I just need to have it in every building that I have where someone is rich. So it's included in this building as well. I'm also very happy with this that I'm doing here, to have like this sectioned off but still open doorways into that last section of the room. It just breaks up the room without actually separating them, if that makes sense. It makes the room feel more sturdy and nice. Here I am trying to create a wall with pictures and decorations that still brings in the coastal theme, because this is still Coastal Point. We need to have some marine themes around, you know? So yeah, I am gonna change it around. So it's not gonna look the way it does right now. But yeah. I was struggling a little bit with the kitchen. It's not a bad kitchen per se, but I I don't know, it feels like it lacks something, but I don't know what that something is. But yeah. Now we are working on the first and currently the only bedroom in the house. There are 3 more bedrooms in the house, but I am not gonna furnish them in this video. And that is simply because, as I mentioned before, I do have Sims in mind, or like a family in mind for this house. But they aren't like completely finished in my mind, like they aren't completely fleshed out, their personalities and stuff like that. So I just decided to leave the rest of the bedrooms empty until I have a more, like a clearer picture of the Sims that is gonna live here, because I don't want to decorate and furnish a room to then realize that it doesn't fit the Sims that is gonna live there at all. So the building is not gonna be completely finished by the end of this video, but it's only gonna be the bedrooms and the upstairs landing area that is gonna be empty. Because I left that empty as well because I think I want the upstairs landing to have some kind of like activity space. But as I said, the Sims that's gonna live here, they aren't finished in my mind, so I am not sure what kind of hobbies they're gonna have. So I think that I am gonna match that to the, well, when I have a finished picture of the Sims. So I left that empty as well. But the whole downstairs is gonna be finished by the end of the video. So yeah, I hope you're happy, at least, that you get a downstairs that is finished. I did try to make a basement for this house, but it did not work out, so I cut that out. I think the issue was that you might saw in the beginning that I was working with the constrained floor elevation, and that's because I have the foundation first, and then I have a wall on top of that I cut off and made it shorter, so it's like a foundation on a foundation, more or less. And I think that fucked it up, so it did not work to have stairs or walls underneath like the first floor. Yeah, I couldn't make it work, so I decided not to, which is a shame, because it would be nice to have a basement and it would be nice to have like a basement pool or something. I mean, they are gonna be rich. It would be nice if they had a pool. But yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't make it work. But whatever, it's fine. It's still a nice house. You don't need a pool to have a nice life. So, it's fine. I think we are about to start on the greenhouse. Yes, we are. Well, a greenhouse and a greenhouse. It's not gonna be used as a greenhouse, but it's gonna kind of look like a greenhouse. And it is more or less just gonna be a nice space to like have lunch or dinner. And it has like this outside feel, but you can still be you can still hang out there even if it's like bad weather. And I think you can see these in quite a few Swedish yards. Like, it's not that uncommon to have one of these, especially if you are, well, better off financially. But they are very pretty, and yeah, I am happy that I could squeeze one of these in, because I think it really adds something to the yard. And yeah, it's just a nice place to hang out, and I'm really happy with it. Ugh, I was struggling a bit with the fencing on this house. I just couldn't decide what kind of vibe I wanted. I did like this fencing. It felt, well, it looked cool, but it felt a little bit weird to have this like tall and like secure fencing, but not have like the whole property fenced in. Because why would you need a secure big fence but not make it secure, you know? Because I can cover like the entryway or the driveway to the garage. That needs to be open, but I couldn't find a nice way to like connect the fencing to the garage without it looking weird. So I just decided to have the like stone wall that I placed in the end, and I think it turned out okay. Now we're back inside, and here this room was a little bit of a struggle, because I was like, what am I gonna do with this room? And I decided to make it into a like exercise slash dance studio. Yeah, I don't know if it's weird to have that kind of room like right next to the dining hall, but whatever, who cares, it's fine. If I had a basement, I would probably put a place or a room like that downstairs, but anyways, it turned out okay. I can always change it, you know, if I can figure something else out. yeah, I think we are about to run out of footage of me building, and yeah, we're gonna head into the final shots of the build, and yeah, I'll see you at the end of the video. So yeah, that was our residential galore build video. Wow, this took a long time to record and to build, but I am happy with the result, and I hope you enjoyed watching this as well. If you did, please subscribe, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye!